following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
This is Talkin Cowboys. Streaming live from the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
First down. Handoff, Elliott plowing to the goal line. Barry, sacked by Lawrence. Prescott keeps it, and he bangs it in for the touchdown.
Here are Mickey Spagnola, Brian Broaddus, Rob Phillips, and Bill Jones.
And it is another Victory Monday edition of Talking Cowboys here at the Star in Frisco. There is no Mickey Spagnola to start off the show, so we will lay the foundation for this show without Mickey as he does other things right now. I am Bill Jones along with Brian Broaddus and Rob Phillips as the Cowboys now are on the brink of clinching the NFC East after a scintillating 29-23 overtime win over their chief rivals for the NFC East crown, as it turns out, the Philadelphia Eagles. And all it takes is a win over the Indianapolis Colts on Sunday in Indy, and the Cowboys win the NFC East. They can do it otherwise, too. But we focus on what happened on Sunday, and wow, what happened on Sunday. How about that, Rob Phillips?
How about that? How about Dak Prescott? You know, the mental toughness that young guy has. 3 turnovers, and this team's record is not very good when he turns the ball over more than once. 2 picks, a lost fumble, which I think was his 6th of the season. And to come back and do what he did, Amari Cooper helps this offense. I think we know that pretty well.
I think we figured that out.
But I think your starting quarterback showed you something again. And really what they did in the fourth quarter and overtime masked overall another good, strong defensive effort. You know, I think when you look back at it, it was a complete victory by this team, but it was the theatrics offensively at the end that kind of stole the story.
455 yards passing for Prescott. That ties Troy Aikman for third on the Cowboys' all-time list. Tony Romo had 506 against Peyton Manning in Denver 5 years ago, and a loss.
Yeah.
Dandy Don Meredith had 460 yards in a loss. Aikman had 455 in a loss. It's the first time. It's the most passing yards for a Cowboys quarterback ever in a win, and the most completions ever for a Cowboys quarterback in a game with 42.
Pretty amazing the way that this game, it was really a roller coaster ride for everybody along. You know, if you look at kind of a tale of two halves for the defense being as dominant as they were in the first half, and then turn around in the second half, you know, a little bit some struggles there, got a stop or two, but overall you start seeing the Eagles were doing some things better. But yeah, offensively with Prescott, you know, this was a game I felt like that the Eagles staff gets a lot of credit for how good of a coaching staff they are. I think the Dallas Cowboys coaches outcoached the Eagles yesterday in this football game. And I think it's, other than the secondaries, I think it was really 2 pretty evenly matched teams playing. But the difference makers were in this case where I feel like that with what Chris Richard and Rod Marinelli were able to do on defense, Scott Linehan, what he did on offense, and then Jason Garrett having the guts to go for it down there. I've always been very critical of Jason Garrett without knowing the condition of his team. And, you know, he saw things that were happening in the second half to his defense, and he felt like that he had to go win that game. And he put it on his players. The players responded, and that's what you have to do as a coach. You have to put your team. He talks about putting his team in the best position to win, and he did that. And so I have to give him a tip of the cap because, you know, it had been very easy for him to kick that field goal and then say, okay, let's see if we can play defense here. You know, but in the second half, we'd seen a little bit of some slippage going on there too. So for him to put it on Dak Prescott, this offense, to go win that game, I think says a lot about the coach, but it also says about the players he has in that locker room and those guys on the field.
It was a lot like the first matchup in Philly in terms of, you know, the Cowboys late in the first half had a 6-0 lead on the Eagles. It was 13-3 at the half. And then when you came down the stretch of that game, it was back and forth. One team scores, the other team scores. It was just like this game. The only difference being That time, the Cowboys got a stop on the Eagles late in the game. This time, they had to go to overtime and win on offense.
The most exciting thing about the first half was a 62-yard field goal, which, by the way, was a franchise record by Brett Maher, atoning for a miss that he had earlier. So, yeah, Brian's right. Tale of two halves. And I think you asked us.
Yeah, I did. I appreciate
24.
I appreciate you mentioning that on the post game.
On the OT?
Because you were saying I don't think you were here, Bill, but I asked Mickey and Rob.
Oh, yeah, I was here. First team to 24, basically.
No, it was about what team would go for it the most on fourth down.
I got you.
Which coach would decide to go for it the most on fourth down. And, luckily your coach was the one that made the right decision there to go for it. I mean, they went for it on fourth down and got a conversion with Sproles in the flat. But, your coach went for it at the end when he absolutely, I thought, like I say, that was a gutsy call to do it that way. But he did what he had to do to win the football game.
Well, the other thing that you asked last week was, can this team get to 24 points? And it takes 24 points to win the game. And sure enough, the first team to 24 won that game. Hello, Mickey.
Like 24-23 that I predicted? I guess I should have gone 23-23, huh?
And then exclude overtime.
So the head coach on 4th and 1 realized his team had gained 557 yards at that point. I don't know that it was that gutsy. I think he looked at what his team was doing on the field. They were gaining yards in gobs. And to go for 1 yard, go for it. Put the game away.
I was not surprised at all.
Me neither.
And as he said, we've got the best runner, in our opinion, in the National Football League. So
it's gutsy from the standpoint if he does not get that first down, though, what is he looking at, a tie? Probably.
See, the guy can't.
In fact, during that timeout, I started doing the math. Okay, what does a tie do for this team?
I mean, gutsy from the fact that he could have kicked that field goal.
Yeah.
He very well could have. That to me is, there was really no givens. I mean, you're talking about gobs of yards and all of a sudden, but you're also talking about tons of mistakes. How about the snap that was low?
Sure.
Trying to get the game, trying to win the game.
The guy can't win. He can't win.
Well,
he doesn't go for it, and he gets beat up. He goes for it, and people are beating him up. Like, what are you doing?
No, I'm not beating him up at all.
A lot of people are
giving him credit for what he did.
I think he saw what his team was doing. That Houston game, they were getting tackled for losses.
Yeah,
they were getting tackles for 0 yards, all up and down the field.
Zeke,
this one 557 yards to that point.
Well, and to the point of what play you're going to call. Zeke, now, in both cases, Zeke got stopped for no gain the play before.
Right.
But the difference this time, aside from field position, the difference this time is that Zeke had 113 yards rushing in this game. In that game, he had 20 carries for 54 yards. And there was no evidence whatsoever that they could get a yard against that Houston defense on that night.
Yeah.
Now, if they played Houston now, maybe they would be able to. Who knows? But and then from a field position standpoint, in the Houston game, the idea was you're punting them down the field. I think also, the rules with overtime are different this year. With the 10-minute, you're only getting the ball once.
He took 8 minutes and 10 seconds off the clock. Yeah,
and I think it's taking coaches, including Garrett, time to realize how the overtime rules are different because of the limited amount of time, and you're probably only going to get one possession.
And they weren't going to get the ball back or kick a field goal, right?
Right. Well, but if you look at that Houston game, too, now, in hindsight, now that we know how quickly the 10 minutes goes in an overtime period, they weren't getting the ball back to do anything with it in that Houston game either.
See, that's the other thing, though.
I think he made a different decision now that we figured out the –
Yeah. Well, he could have still gone with the conservative route, though. Kick the field goal and say, okay, they've got less than
2 minutes,
less than 2 minutes to go down the field and score a touchdown.
No, they went for it 4th and 1 with 4 minutes to go.
No, he's talking about yesterday.
Yeah, it was 4 minutes to go when they went for it.
Okay, that's true. Okay, so they would have had under 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Still, I mean, with those rules, again, you guys are right. He knew the condition of his football team. I talked about it during the week. This is an Eagles team that has been leaking yardage. They had a good game against Washington. We know what Washington is right now. The 3 games before that, Philly had allowed 400-plus yards. Now they give up a 5 spot in this game.
What?
The better team won this game. I mean,
yeah,
doubled them up on first downs. The Eagles were 1 of 9 on third down.
It was another ass kicking.
Cowboys
didn't show it up on the scoreboard.
Doubled them up on time of possession. The better team won this game. No question.
Here's the other thing. The way I've seen Garrett now, and this is the 3rd time in 5 years he's had a playoff-bound team, a team that is good enough to make the playoffs. It seems to me like in those other years, 2014 and 2016, and now this year, when he gets to November, December, when he's got good teams, he goes for it more on 4th down than what he does when he has a bad team. He gets knocked for not being aggressive enough. I think he's a lot more aggressive when he has a good team than when he has a bad team.
Especially
that's just what I've noticed.
500 yards. And if you didn't pick it up, they get the ball at the 19. That Houston game, they would have gave him the ball at the 45.
Yeah. I don't know how calculated all of our decisions are.
Kit Garrison with gold.
Yeah. No, it was well played. I mean, they did what they had to do to win that football game. And, the fact that they took 8 minutes off the clock in overtime gave them that opportunity to do that. I was thinking how they were going to just keep running the ball and just run the clock completely out and just kick a field goal.
That's right.
That's what I was thinking of.
We said that on the sideline. Like, are they going to get a shot at this, Philly?
And if Philly didn't make the play to stop Zeke for the 3-yard loss,
right,
they probably would have wound up doing that.
Yeah.
No,
I mean that would have been a perfect way to play this game. But then again, you're putting it in a field goal kicker's hands.
You trust him?
Well, from 62, maybe not 45.
62, you got nothing to lose.
Right. That's my point.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you ran it all the way down, you're able to get the first down, and now you're kicking a 20-yard field goal to win it. Do you trust him then?
See, that's that's open for debate. I mean, that seriously is open for debate. Is that something that is gonna haunt you down the stretch when you play in these games?
Yeah.
The thought, I made a 62-yard field goal. Mickey's right. You got nothing to lose there. Go ahead, unless it gets blocked or it's short, right. And they have a guy back there, and they get an Alabama-Auburn situation where they're running the ball back on you up the field. But no, I mean, I think it's open for debate. Was he an 80% kicker right now?
I don't have.
Is his
stats.
numbers right at 80%, near 80%? I'm sorry I didn't look
beyond 40 yards when he missed.
I'm just overall. Just give me overall. Yeah. Is he even 80%?
I did well. He did come back and make a 21-yarder. I did look this up.
Yeah.
He had made 9 straight before that kick. He missed a kick against Philly and then had been perfect since then. I don't know his exact stats.
Yeah,
I think they said he was I want to say the broadcast said he was 11 or 15 from 40 yards.
In the 40-yard range. That's what I was about to say.
Well, something, you hope, I mean, again, winning the great deodorant, but is that something that we need to look at? Much like we're critical of the sacks and things like that happen in the game, or Dak in the pocket fumbling the ball or whatever. I mean, is the field goal kicking here something as you get into the playoffs that you want to say, oh well, yeah, I feel wonderful about that. I don't think we're necessarily. I know I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't always want to put it in on his foot.
Okay, why doesn't Pro Football Reference?
It's 84%.
It is.
Yeah.
It's 84%.
And it's 11 from 15 from 40 plus.
All right.
Before
27 for 32 on the season.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Maybe that's better than
there it is.
It just
27 for 32.
I don't know. I now watch.
Spoiled?
Spoiled or I mean, I sit there and I would hope that my kicker can make one from 45 yards. I'm not expecting him to make it from 62. But I'm hopeful he can make it from 45.
And what he is from 40 to 49, he's 7 for 10. Beyond 50, he's 5 for 6.
Yeah, there you go.
Beyond 60, he's 1 for 1.
Yes, he is.
That's so weird to see.
Which is the third longest field goal in NFL history. Matches the third longest.
Yeah.
I mean,
63 and 64 are the longest.
We know he's got a strong leg. He kicked a 57-yarder in the preseason finale, which kind of
got him the job.
Spot. Yeah, but he told us after the game he doesn't even try 62 in pregame. With a full operation, they go about 58, and that's it. So
I'm surprised he didn't try for a Hail Mary there.
Yeah, I thought he was too.
I mean, where the positioning was, but hey, good for him. If you walk over to the kicker or to walk over to Keith O'Quinn and say, "Hey, what's his range today?" 62, coach. We're good. Okay, let's try this one here. That's one of those ones. Again, give him some credit. That's a gut call. I mean, he could have thrown a Hail Mary there and not got any points, or
Yeah.
Luckily, you had their field goal kicker missed a field goal or an extra point too,
or do a lateral.
Yeah.
Wasn't a good day. Speaking of that, it wasn't a good day for the coaching geniuses yesterday.
No.
As Peterson lost, Sean McVay last night got beat, and then a Hall of Fame coach decided Rob Gronkowski would be better than Devin McCourty as his safety on the final play of a game.
But they really think they were going to throw the ball like 75?
69. It was the 31-yard line.
Yeah, not with that quarterback.
So back and you had to drop back, right?
Right.
So you're going to have to throw the ball 75 yards.
You would put
in the
Gronk
air?
in the game if they're throwing from the 50-yard line. Okay, they're throwing to the goal line. Now you get someone to bat it down.
Right. Put a guy with a bad
he even
back.
had better options than Gronk on his own team. I mean, why not Josh Gordon?
No, that's thinking
Darrell
too
Patterson
much.
or
That's
somebody.
thinking too much right there.
I mean, for that purpose. But you're right. From the 31, okay, the best chance of them to score was going to be a Tyreek Hill type play.
Yep.
Like
throw the screen and run.
ran into.
Throw the screen and run. You surprised Peterson didn't go for the win yesterday?
At the end after they tied it?
Yeah.
Especially after the penalty.
Yeah. Should have moved the ball to the one, shouldn't
It
he?
would have. I mean,
Now their 2-point play that they ran against Washington last week or Monday night was the option play that Dallas snuffed. They ran that play for a 2-point play the other day in a game. So maybe I'm sure Doug Peterson's got all kinds of the Philly specials and
why
things
wouldn't
like that.
I guess.
Especially knowing the condition of your team.
Yeah, he hadn't stopped anybody.
Their secondary, I mean, we talked about it during the week.
He could have stood up there and said, "Okay, I lost this game but you see my secondary play?"
Yeah.
Well, the analytics guys had to be beside themselves when he didn't go.
Well, usually he's the champion of analytics.
I know, that's what I mean.
I get more people tweet at me about him and look how smart Doug Peterson is.
Right.
And then and again, we talk about knowing your condition of your team, and Mickey pointed it out. His defense gave up 500-something yards yesterday. Mm-hmm. He should have tried to end that game right now. It's like my guys at LSU against A&M. Should have ended that game right there. You can't put those guys back out there again. Mm-hmm. You got what you deserve, Doug Peterson. Congratulations.
Didn't want to lose on one play.
And on that,
but to the point of. He lost anyway.
I understand. And
he lost.
So whatever happens at the end,
he went against
right or wrong.
He gave up. He did the opposite of what he generally believes, and that cost him.
And on the winning play, what'd you think of the decision to go with an all-out blitz and just leave his corners on an island against Amari Cooper?
Well,
almost
hell of a pickup by
Cooper.
Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah,
Elliott.
He smashed that.
Because if they let the one guy go that Dak Prescott can account for, the linebacker Bradham. That's the one guy he could see. He couldn't see the blitz coming from the inside, and a great job by Zeke. Beat up in the whole game, playing hard, catching balls, and then blitz pickup. Okay, I get you.
Yeah.
You got my vote.
Well, he sold out.
Yeah.
He gambled.
Yep. Well, he had to. His team, again, that defense was a mess. We said that going in that they weren't going to be able to. They didn't have anybody that can cover Amari Cooper. Didn't matter who they put on him. That's the way it was.
Douglas actually played the route pretty well, too. He sat on it and didn't bite on the fade.
Didn't bite on the fake, yeah.
So,
but, I mean, that's the way it ends up. That's good.
Well, do we get into the officiating now, or do we wait on that? We want to take a break first.
I knew that hat was on for some reason.
I kind of think it went both ways.
Oh, it did.
It did.
It did.
Both ways.
How about we come back and talk about what happened with the officials in yesterday's game when Talking Cowboys continues in a moment.
Essilor has been helping Cowboys fans see better since 1972 so they don't miss a moment on the field. Get glasses with Essilor's best vision, clarity, and protection with the Essilor Ultimate Lens Package. 3 innovative technologies in one lens. For a limited time, you can double your lenses for free when you purchase the Essilor Ultimate Lens Package and get a second pair of frames. Find a participating eye care professional and details by visiting EssilorUSA.com. That's EssilorUSA.com. Terms and conditions apply.
If you're like me and you love... if you have a thing, then cutting the cord is scary. But then I found out I could switch to DirecTV Now and still get the live sports I love. No satellite needed, no bulky hardware, no annual contract, just...
Get the live sports you love. Try DirecTV Now for $10 a month for 3 months. Visit DirecTVNow.com. DirecTV Now. More for your thing. That's our thing. Use code REALDEAL. Limited time. Price for a little package. After 3 months, renews monthly at full price. Currently minimum $40 unless canceled. Prices may change. New subscribers only. Cancel anytime. Content varies by package and may be limited. Restrictions apply.
A man's Stetson doesn't just protect him from life's elements. It projects an unstoppable and legendary spirit, just like the men wearing silver and navy on the field every Sunday. Since 1865, Stetson hats are American-made with pride right here in Texas. They are still the official crown of all self-respecting cowboys. And Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Find Stetson hats in the Pro Shop or at Stetson.com today.
Dr. Pepper is the one you crave. But how do you explain that craving?
Imagine being shipwrecked on a desert island, alone. Glass-like curls of surf pound the shore with Dr. Pepper-colored waves. Surrounded by desire, but you can't drink it because it's the ocean. Fish live in there. The only thing you want is Dr. Pepper, and you can't have it.
Now that is a Dr. Pepper craving. Dr. Pepper, the one you crave.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
Boys, adjust your cleats, adjust your pads, even adjust your helmet, but seriously, don't adjust your underwear, because once it's been seen, it cannot be unseen. Tommy John has a contour pouch and moisture-wicking fabric to keep you cool and dry on the field or in the stands. Tommy John, no adjustment needed. Shop exclusive Cowboys underwear at TommyJohn.com/Cowboys for 20% off your first order. TommyJohn.com/Cowboys.
Very nicely done there, Rob Phillips. Cowboys.
He does that better than I do.
Huh?
How come he does that better than I do?
He's a professional.
Okay.
Yes.
Sharp young mind.
A professional broadcaster.
The emphasis on young.
That's right.
And sharp. All right, 29-23, an overtime win over the Philadelphia Eagles, a season series sweep of the Eagles, and the Cowboys again can clinch the division with a win at Indianapolis. And, Mickey, I think I've got this figured out right. They can also lose at Indianapolis, but they would need an Eagles loss and a Redskins loss to clinch this week.
That's right.
So there you go.
They just need one more victory, basically.
Basically, that's it. Yeah.
Oh, so it's not just an Eagles loss.
It's a Redskin loss because technically the Redskins, even though it's impossible for them in their current state to do this, they could win out and the Cowboys lose out, and the Redskins would have a better record.
Mark Rippon ain't walking through that door.
Yeah. So
Joe Theismann, Sonny Jurgensen, whoever you want to.
Maybe they can get Troy to come out of the broadcast booth.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Yep,
that's not happening.
Nope, I don't think so. All right, Mickey, you have your officiating hat on. Starting with the first play of that game, the opening kickoff, it was not a particularly good day for the officials, wouldn't you say?
I think the Cowboys got lucky on that play.
They did.
They got really lucky on that one.
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
Well, they stood with the call on the field, right?
Yeah.
They did.
Mike Pereira, did you hear what he said?
No.
He said to change the call, you have to have a clear recovery.
I kind of felt like they had the ball, didn't they?
It looked like four guys had it, but you couldn't tell.
The last guy to come out of the pile that is an Eagle player.
Yeah.
Right?
But you could always grab it away from
If
somebody.
you're watching on DallasCowboys.com, you see the replay there. You see the ball come out. But do you see a recovery?
I think the mouth of the East came out of the pile with that ball, but they didn't give it to
Camus Grugier Hill.
Mouth of the East.
The mouth of the East came out with the ball and they just did not give him the call. But anyway, good. Hey, that's good. That's all right. It's a good way to start the game. Why would you bring the ball out anyway?
He never does. It's always.
Yeah, I mean, but I thought initially the ball was to the 1. But it was in the end zone. He was 3 yards deep in that thing. So
yeah,
but I just don't. I didn't quite get that one.
It evened out.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay. So now let's go to the fourth quarter of this extravaganza, and it was not the finest hour for the officiating crew in the fourth quarter, to say the least. Right.
Which one you want to talk about?
Where do you want to go
I'm looking
first?
through my play-by-play sheet. The one that sticks out to me is the Dallas Goedert touchdown, the offensive pass interference.
Yeah.
And then the makeup calls after that.
Yeah. They had some makeup calls. I'll tell you, the worst call of the day, though, was the Randy Gregory.
Yeah.
Because
And that was after the Goedert, right?
The referee's name is Blakeman, right?
Yes.
Cleat.
Yes.
Cleat, probably named
Blakeman.
after Cleat. Yeah.
Boyer.
Yeah, Cleat Boyer, the old St. Louis Cardinal fame. And the call that he made on that on the roughing the passer, if he goes back and watches now, I'm not Kent's showing you the one where Randy took 2 steps. I'm talking the second one where he went low. And if you watch the play closely, though, Jason Peters has his hands in the middle of Gregory's back and is pushing him to the ground, trying to push him past the quarterback. So you have blocker contact with rusher, and then pushing him in towards the ground. Randy Gregory's got no other recourse other than to grab the legs. He didn't put his helmet in there, didn't put his shoulder in there, didn't go for the knee.
Didn't hit him with any force at all.
Yeah, he wrapped him up around the legs, but the whole time he was being pushed in the back by Jason Peters. So you have contact from a blocker. It reminded me very much of a call that they don't make when you have like a running the kicker or punter, one of those things, where a blocker is engaged.
Yeah.
And then, he missed that call. And he had clear line of sight to see that right there. That's a terrible call. I understand trying to protect quarterbacks in the legs, but if you're engaged with a blocker and you're being pushed to the ground and you make an athletic play like that's just a terrible call.
And you're basically just wrapping your arms around the legs of the quarterback.
That's right.
You're not hitting them with any force whatsoever.
Not at all.
And as Mike Pereira pointed out immediately after that, it was a bad call.
Yeah.
I mean, he basically grabbed his foot. He was already on the ground. It's not like he went low.
Yeah.
He was already down.
He spun him around pretty good. I mean, you could see it. When you go back, you could see him. He wraps him up and he starts to spin him, and that's where he gets in the splits. I think what happened was, though, there was a really good rush coming up the other side of the field. And I think that's where Blakeman got lost. He was trying to move, but then his line of sight was fine after that. But the fact that they missed Peters' hands on Gregory, pushing him with still engaged as he was going to the quarterback, I think that was the biggest crime of this thing.
And on the previous play, on the offensive pass interference, it looked like on one of the, assuming that was the
right hand shove.
Yeah, the ball was not in the air.
Yeah,
the quarterback had not released the football yet.
No, he had not.
But it doesn't matter if it's on the offense.
Yeah,
you can't push off.
That's what they're saying. They're saying he pushed with his right arm to run the route, and.
It's like a pick play.
Yeah, Jeff Heath did a hell of a job of selling it like he was falling out of there.
It was a bad call.
Yeah.
Not to mention their guy on the defensive end that threw his hands up in the air like Tyron Smith was holding him, and he was
yeah.
Okay.
Well, they scored on that drive anyway, though.
Yeah. All right. So how about the Zeke call?
Oh.
Is that the first time in NFL history that's been called on an offensive player? Did somebody say that?
9.
It's been 10 times, 10 or 11 times.
But with an offensive player being the initiator?
That's what I'm saying.
We were talking about that last night on the postgame show.
I don't know. But
I don't know. That safety was going low on the play right there.
That was a question we
had.
So
would they have called it on that safety? Because he went low with his head.
Oh no, he went real low.
That's what Zeke said after the game was, if he's going low, then I've got to go low to protect myself.
Yeah.
But he also qualified it and said the rules are to keep us all safe. So I've got to go back and look at it, and maybe I've got to do better with my technique. But
he's being nice.
Well, that was a question that came up in training camp when the officials came and talked to us about
Didn't have a great answer then either, did they?
And that was one of the questions, though, with the new rules was, can a running back be called for this, for trying to lower his head and make a play?
Yeah. And the dude said you have to judge intent.
Yeah.
The intent wasn't to hurt somebody. The intent was to protect myself.
Right.
He hurt himself. He had to come off the field for a couple plays, right? Kind of.
He said he got a stinger and briefly lost feeling in his arm.
Yeah.
By the time he went into the tent. By the time he came back, he said he was pretty much okay.
Yeah.
And he finished out the game very well.
Because I remember asking that guy, and then they wouldn't let us use it. I said, what happens on the goal line when the guy goes up in the air?
Yeah.
And he's coming down, and he hits somebody with his helmet. And the guy goes, well, you have to judge intent. Did he come down with the intent to use his helmet to hit somebody?
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, and that'll be a judgment call. Chances are not, because you went up and then you're coming down. Well, this was no different. They got over officious in the fourth quarter for some reason.
And also on the Zeke play, he had Camu Grugier Hill on his back pushing him down. And
there's another hands engaged, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're right. They got overly officious down the stretch of that game.
You want to give you my philosophy on how they need to officiate the game? They need to put these guys every 20 yards on like one of those volleyball stands so you can see what's going on instead of being on the field, because you cannot see on the field. I'm sorry.
I was thinking just flip the coin to start the game and stay out of the way. That's
so
what I was thinking.
What they need to do is they need to put them in Booger's stand.
Yeah, let the thing go down the field.
In tennis kind of thing? Just put a high chair?
Absolutely, a high chair.
Yeah.
That'd be funny to see.
But they could see.
Look. Yeah.
And also people be running into the tower on the sideline.
Knocking guys over?
Take your chance.
Why not?
All right.
Put a lot of pads on the thing.
Let's go to Rick in Ohio. You're first up on Talking Cowboys. Hello, Rick.
I just wanted to say I appreciate everything you guys do for us Cowboys fans out here. And I just wanted to say I hope Michael Gallup stays on the right track. He's been getting open, but I know the ball hasn't been falling to him. I just want him to keep doing what he's doing. Thank you, guys. Have a blessed day.
Appreciate it.
3 games in a row, he's been right there. 2 different occasions, I think, last night, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just got to keep plugging away. He's really coming on as a young receiver. They can get separation and make big plays. They've got a guy on each side on the outside that can do it.
The one
Cooper
in the end
being
zone, I think he lost the ball.
He did.
Right?
He did.
Because I saw Dak go this, look for the ball.
That's the one thing. Amari Cooper can find the football. You see Amari Cooper, when that ball's going in the air, he's got his eyes on it. And I think what happens to Gallup is that he fights so hard to get off the line because he really doesn't know how to get off the line the right way yet. You know, Cooper's is so smooth in the way he separates, so that it's kind of a battle for Gallup. And then he kind of he gets, okay, I'm clear, and where's the ball? Kind of a bit, you know, where he stops running, or he doesn't, or he doesn't run fast enough, or Dak just doesn't get him. I mean, how many plays have they left? I mean, you said it with last 3 games.
Last 3 games. Now I think
they just could have. People were like, oh, they've got to throw the ball deep. They got to throw it. They throw the ball deep, and it doesn't work out that way.
Now he did. It might have been the Atlanta game where he press coverage.
Oh no,
he got off
double
the
move,
jam, and a 40-yard pickup.
Yeah.
They've hit it some. It just hasn't been consistent.
Yeah, that's disappointing.
At least he dove for this one.
Well, they could have killed the game at the end. They could have killed that game in regulation if they just hook up on that one pass at the end. I mean, they knew what they were doing. Scott Linehan's watching the game from above. He's looking at it going, they can't cover our guys. I mean, let's just throw this thing deep, see what happens.
Right.
They had a shot to make it work. Just didn't make it.
All right, Dak Prescott's performance, you touched on it off the top, and, of course, the records that were set. And I think basically what Garrett said after the game and what you said off the top, Rob, is what I take away, the mental toughness of playing through the ebbs and flows of a game is one of the most impressive things about it.
He's got blood all over him. He's got Band-Aids on his hands. This guy gives you everything he has.
Everything he's got.
He's never going to be a great quarterback, but he is going to be a guy. He's a winner. That is exactly the best compliment you can pay him is he will give you everything he has. He's not mechanically going to be great. He's not always going to be accurate. But when they start to flip the cards over and start pushing chips to the middle of the table, this guy's sitting at the table looking at you right in his eye. I mean, he is not going to back down from a challenge. He's not going to sit there and fold up and all that. Yeah, does he need to protect the ball in the pocket? Yeah, but they need to block better for him? Yeah, they need to do that. The interception that he had, the first interception, it was almost a great anticipation throw because they run Cooper across the field, and he's anticipating, him being in that spot. He's throwing to a spot. But give Douglas some credit. I mean, he came off. They had Schultz to that side running the out. If you put a wide receiver to that side running the out, maybe Douglas has to respect that a little more and then is not allowed to funnel inside to make that play. But, Dak, I don't think you could say enough good about him. He's not going to be perfect. But the one thing you could say about him is he is a tough SOB. And every time it's on the line, he will give you everything he has, good or bad, to try and see what he can do.
And as far as being a leader of men, You know, people feed his teammates feed off of all that stuff that he brings to the table.
And yet, having said that, he completed 77% of his passes for 455 yards. 455. How many quarterbacks can throw 2 interceptions, lose a fumble, and not tuck tail, right?
Yeah.
And he came back. He came back, and 3 touchdowns. He had a quarterback rating of 104. Would you take that every game? Absolutely. A quarterback rating of 104 with 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's just a shame. I mean, I'm interested to see what Linehan or somebody says about the interception that he had, because he had Gallup in the middle of the field, and it looked like to me, and I'm not a quarterback, whisperer or anything like that, but you just look, it looked like the toe was pointed right. It looked like the shoulder was pointed right. But the ball he threw it was way above his head. I mean, like way above his. He takes that huge stride, and his arm angle gets a little funny on him. And when the ball sails on him, it's usually when he has that long stride. But if he just a little bit tighter down, I think would have got the ball there. But the ball was way, way, way high, and that's why I think it sailed on him on that particular play.
And he's the type quarterback that those fundamentals are imperative for him.
He gets away with some crazy fundamentals, but he also, he threw a pass to Zeke underneath where he's jumping through the middle of the pocket and, trying to just get him the ball. And he's not perfect. He's not perfect. And, but
was he better than Wentz?
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah.
Wentz 228 yards.
Yeah.
He had 3 touchdowns and no picks. He had a good game, too, but they didn't really get going till late. Yeah. And Zach Ertz, 5 catches for 38 yards. Again, defensively.
That was the biggest thing.
Yeah, defensively, they
didn't run the ball, and they didn't get the ball to Zach Ertz.
Yeah, they made some plays late, but take away the turnover that got them inside the 5-yard line for a touchdown, and the defense really, gave up 16 points again. Yeah. But yeah, about Dak, as a tremendous effort. The other thing is you got to give credit again to the front office for going out and, you traded a first-round pick, but Amari Cooper is as quarterback-friendly as it gets. I mean, his route running, he just seems like he's always in position to make a play. And they capitalize, again, Brian, like you said, on a depleted secondary for Philly.
That's good. How many times have we seen them not do things like that? A beat-up offensive line or a beat-up secondary and all that. They did a great job. Everybody. Cole Beasley was open a bunch in this game too, by the way. Mm-hmm. Go back and watch that tape. Matter of fact, on the touchdown he threw, the 27-yard touchdown pass he threw to Cooper, he could have thrown the ball to Cole Beasley on the pivot route, and it would have been a touchdown as well. There was nobody between Beasley. Beasley ran some really good routes yesterday.
Yeah.
And you just got to keep doing that. You got to keep doing that.
All right, let's go to Eric in Connecticut. You're next up on Talkin' Cowboys. Hello, Eric.
Hello. What really surprised me yesterday, and I want to talk about something different because you guys already hit Dak, you already hit Amari. I want to talk about the tight end. 11 for 11 yesterday against the tight end.
Yeah, so then the post-game show.
Jarwin made some amazing catches. Yeah. And Dak threw the ball where he had to the tight ends, but then they caught the ball and actually did something with it.
Yeah.
I think that's a game yesterday for our tight ends that we could probably build on going to the postseason, knowing that maybe we can get our tight ends into the game more. I'm not sure when Sway will be back, but if we can get our tight ends into the game, especially what Jarwin did yesterday. I mean, he looked amazing. Just the catches he made, and then he was able to go upfield afterwards. He caught the ball and then went upfield. It was really promising because I think that's a different threat that he hasn't really had this year. And then, 11 for 11. They just all three of them had a decent game. With Jarwin, I think, stood out above all three tight ends. But that's what I wanted to hit on and see what you guys' opinions are.
Yeah, coming out party for Blake Jarwin, 7 catches, 56 yards.
It's amazing what a little experience will do for a guy.
Still drafting a tight end.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, but still. The guy hadn't played.
No.
And everybody expected him and Schultz right off the bat to be Jason Witten. That wasn't going to happen.
Well, I'll tell you what, though. Those guys did a nice job. There's no question about that. The plays that they were able – the ball that Schultz caught with them when they faked the toss going one way. I love that play when they do that, when they fake it and he shows his hand and then everything comes and it's the 2-level read and all that. I love it because I thought he was going to throw the ball underneath to Noah Brown. But he threw it over the top because, you know why? Because Dalton Schultz ran a hell of a route to get open. But yeah, it's good to see those guys have some success. We've been critical of the position, and the fact that they showed up in an important game. I think like the caller says, hopefully that bodes well down the stretch that they can get some of those guys going. Maybe get some of these guys going in the red zone a little bit,
or maybe the linebackers will start covering the tight end, instead of jamming the line of scrimmage.
And by the way, this morning, Jason Garrett had a one-word answer to the question about the reports that
you say no?
The Cowboys have reached out to Jason Witten about making a return. The one-word answer was no.
Did they follow up?
No.
Why not?
Because that no was a stopper.
Was it?
It was no.
Where does Schefter get that stuff?
Dalton Schultz got asked about it after the game. Did you guys see the reports? Did that kind of fire you up? Something in your coffee there this morning?
What did Dalton Schultz say?
Oh, I don't pay attention to that stuff.
You know what though? No one asked or ascertained when it happened. Like when, because at the 13th week, if you come off of reserve retired,
you got to go through waivers.
You got to go through waivers.
Yeah.
So somebody could have said, "Oh no, I want him."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now he could have said, "No, I don't want to do it. I'll go back in the booth."
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Nothing like a good old Sunday headline.
That's right.
That was
what happens on Sunday mornings.
Got to have a story.
I mean, nothing. Not being critical. I'm just saying it's just this.
And that's been out here.
Never stops.
Did you guys want him back? Well, if you're the Cowboys, I know it's not happening, but if you're the Cowboys at that time, would you have wanted him back?
Well, my question would be, how long would it take?
Yeah.
How long would it take for him to get into football shape? What kind of shape is he in right now?
I think at his age,
hair looks good.
Hair looks great. Hair looks really good.
Helmet will miss it.
Knowing how process-oriented he is, though, don't you think he would have wanted a full camp to really give himself the best chance? You really see him just saying, "Oh yeah, I can jump right back in."
He probably is one of those guys that think he could turn it on and off.
Do you think he would quit?
No, I don't think it's going to happen.
He has taken a beating. He has taken a beating
from who?
The fans who've watched money
on the table.
Whoa!
Oh, Mickey.
Whoa!
All right.
Okay.
You know what, Mickey? Sometimes I agree with you on that.
You know what?
We're supposed to be instructing him.
You know what, though?
Not pandering.
Talking about the beating that he takes on Twitter every Monday night.
Thank you all for listening.
All right.
Yeah.
I've got,
we appreciate
at work, I've got a big old computer screen, and I've got my tweet deck on there.
Yeah, and they're just ripping him the whole time.
And so I did. In fact, I got video of it. I shot video of it. I had one column I just put in a Twitter search Witten.
Yeah.
And the other column, I did a Twitter search Trump.
Who's winning?
And I looked to see which column moves faster.
Oh,
and
just to amuse yourself?
Just to amuse myself. And the Witten column was keeping pace with the Trump column last Monday night. All right, we continue with more of Talking Cowboys in just a moment.
If you're like me and you love... if you have a thing, then cutting the cord is scary. But then I found out I could switch to DirecTV Now and still get the live sports I love. No satellite needed, no bulky hardware, no annual contract, just...
Get the live sports you love. Try DirecTV Now for $10 a month for 3 months. Visit DirecTVNow.com. DirecTV Now. More for your thing. That's our thing. Use code REALDEAL. Limited time. Price for a little package. After 3 months, renews monthly at full price. Currently minimum $40 unless canceled. Prices may change. New subscribers only. Cancel anytime. Content varies by package and may be limited. Restrictions apply.
It's time for Tailgating with the OtterBox Boys.
The OtterBox that builds those crazy protective phone cases?
Yup. And now they're changing the side dish game with the OtterBox Trooper Soft Cooler. Lightweight, mobile, and leak-proof, Trooper is perfect for blitzing a crowded parking lot with a Frito pie.
Amazing. Hey, you think I could fit my 7-layer salmon salad into the Trooper cooler?
Yup, but please don't.
And that's been Tailgating with the OtterBox Boys. Learn more about the Trooper soft coolers at otterbox.com.
While a player could look good on paper, it's when he's out on the field that you really find out what he's made of. That's why the Cowboys rely on more than just stats and scouting reports when building their team. When picking a tractor, it's why you should rely on more than just specs and features. You've got to take it out and put it to the test. The Cowboys did when they named John Deere their official tractor. Experience one for yourself. Visit myjohndeeredealer.com/football.
It can be hard to find the right resource for learning about important financial matters. You search how to build savings, you end up reading about the one weird ingredient from supermarkets that can make you taller. That's why Bank of America built BetterMoneyHabits.com, a safe little corner of the internet for answering your financial questions. Full of simple videos and tips, Better Money Habits can show you how to make the most of your money without resorting to random searches that always seem to lead to unbelievable photos of childhood stars grown up. To learn more, visit BetterMoneyHabits.com.
Essilor has been helping Cowboys fans see better since 1972 so they don't miss a moment on the field. Get glasses with Essilor's best vision, clarity, and protection with the Essilor Ultimate Lens Package. 3 innovative technologies in one lens. For a limited time, you can double your lenses for free when you purchase the Essilor Ultimate Lens Package and get a second pair of frames. Find a participating eye care professional and details by visiting EssilorUSA.com. That's EssilorUSA.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
Okay, if you never listen to what I say, listen to this. Go to getjackblack.com/cowboys. And for Christmas, they've got their Playmaker special. The Playmaker gives you 4 of the Jack Black faves for $10. And if you use the code Cowboys, shipping is free. All they do is charge you like 50 cents tax. And I went and I've bought 3 Christmas presents for $10. So go to getjackblack.com/cowboys.
Why is it not surprising?
So you got my Christmas present
I did
already.
For $10. How could I go wrong?
Yeah.
All right. I need to give your number to my daughters.
Okay.
Who are asking about that.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Of course, one of my daughters, Jordan, listens to the show, so she's
got
Jordan's
it now.
Thank you already. Yeah,
Merry Christmas
exactly
to you.
right.
Yeah, Jordan, you're not one of the fans we hate.
That's right. And she has stuck with us throughout the season.
Yeah, good for her.
Yeah. So she enjoys it. She listens to podcasts all the time. This is one of her favorite ones.
Does she like Mickey's Minute?
I think she does. Yeah.
It's time for Mickey's Minute.
I appeal to the young people.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
Is that right?
Regardless of what you guys think.
Let's take a poll of this office.
I'm not sure you appeal to Rob.
Yeah.
Well, he's not young anymore.
How many young?
Is that right?
I want under 30.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, Mickey. We worked with a lot of young kids here. We seem to bounce around, you and I.
Yeah, I'm talking about the fans.
Yeah, all right.
The fans you hate?
Yes.
Yeah.
Screw the fans.
It's the fans I'm trying to educate.
That's a drop. Screw the fans.
Oh, God. Help us.
Here we go.
Just trying to educate them, that's all.
Yeah, no, let's say.
Let's see if Lloyd in Virginia can educate us. Lloyd, you're on Talking Cowboys.
Hey, guys, thanks a lot for having me. Appreciate all you do.
No problem.
Just want to say, of course, Mickey's right. I've been agreeing with Mickey the whole year. It goes way back to the beginning when I was saying, "Where's Doug Free?" Because the offensive line stinks. Something we thought we'd never say.
Yeah.
And I thought we were turning Dak into David Carr because he was being sacked so much. But the team is growing. They're doing great. Broadus, you got great analysis.
Thank you.
This is a wonderful victory. You've been right on Michael Gallup. If we could just put a little bit of air under the ball,
right,
we'd really have a super explosive offense. And I think Connor did a good job coming in. He's still young, not as strong as a real man. He's just a young guy.
Yep.
But they're really growing. If Zach is okay, we're going to be fine.
Yep. All right.
See?
All right. Thank you, Lloyd.
Smart fan right there.
That is something to watch coming out of this.
Zach Martin.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's they were saying the preliminary indication it's similar to the previous injury, but what are y'all hearing?
Yeah, and those MCLs, you got to let them rest.
Yeah.
He hasn't let it rest.
There's no time to rest.
And I don't know if you say, hey, can we get by one more game and let him have 2 weeks? Because when you sprain your MCL, it's 2 to 4 doing nothing, and sometimes 4 to 6.
Can I be real selfish here? Mm-hmm. He's from Indianapolis, right?
Yeah.
That's where he's from.
Well, you're probably right.
Go in there, play, win this game, and then sit him the last 2 if you can.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Strap that brace on.
He's going to be tough. He's going to want to practice. He's from Indianapolis. You look at they've got an all-pro guard there too as a rookie. He Notre Dame guy too. He's been tough all year. I mean, Zach has been tough. If you could find a way to win this game, and then turn around and say, okay, we're going to give you 2 weeks before you have to play back at home against Minnesota or Seattle or whoever,
Actually, by the time you play, it would be 3 weeks.
I just wonder, at some point, does he need to sit down for a week? And I know they had the bye week because he hurt it against Philadelphia, and they had kind of a mini bye for him to rest it. And it's just he's been continuing to fight with this thing. And this time he didn't return to the game. He returned to the game the first time in Philly.
After 13 plays, I think. Back in there.
I mean, we'll see. He's as tough as it comes physically and mentally.
I just think he's going to want to line up and play in this game.
Sure.
That's his hometown.
Did they take Tyron's elbow brace and put it on his knee?
That was some. You talk about officiating. That's some BS calls on those holdings. Yeah, that's some crap.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Just throw your hands up in the air and get some attention.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm being held. I can't get away. No, the reason you can't get away is because he locked on your.
Yeah, exactly. But he's always had trouble with Brandon Graham. Brandon Graham's a good player against him.
Mm-hmm.
It's like him and Olivier Vernon.
Tight pass rusher.
Yeah, those kind of smaller, kind of
gets up under him
your leverage players. Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
right.
But the caller was right about Connor Williams being ready. It wasn't pretty. Hey, Garrett's going to say that today. There's a couple of times where he looked like he was in a revolving door, kind of getting knocked around a little bit. But for him to come in and play, he hadn't played right guard all year.
Yeah. So how big of a change is that for?
Well, just a line of sight, and he hadn't worked with Collins very much. You have to be able to pass some stunts and twists and make calls and communication back and forth. So, good job by him being ready to play. It could have been a bad situation, but they didn't really miss a beat. They were able to get the win with him playing in the game.
Especially with Zack Martin's issue with his knee, you would assume, though, in practice that Connor Williams has been getting some work in practice at least on the right side.
He has.
And being the swing guy.
He has been the swing guy. He plays both the left and the right side. Not a whole heck of a lot, but primarily been that left side guy. Yeah.
And not a very easy assignment against that Eagles front either.
No,
especially, they can put a brace on your knee, but it's still sprained.
Yeah.
The brace doesn't fix it.
Right.
Defensively, what was the biggest thing that stood out defensively for the Cowboys in that game?
How they were able to take Zach Ertz out of this game.
Yep.
And it was Byron Jones. I counted up of the receptions that went, or the balls that went towards Zach Ertz. You had Jeff Heath on him 3 times. They played zone against him 3 times, Mickey. And then Byron Jones and Anthony Brown each had him 1 time. So that was it.
I thought Van Der Esch had him 1 time.
No, that was just it was in.
Or maybe he
in
came
between.
and made the tackle.
That was one of the zones. Yeah, that was one of the zone calls. Yeah, the zones.
Because he slipped.
Right. Yeah, that's that. Other than that first down he converted, though, that was some really, really good coverage. That was a zone play too, but that was some great coverage. Great coverage by, like I say, Byron Jones. I'll go back and count up all the times that he was on him by himself, but those are the adjustments you have to make. That's smart. That guy is comfortable covering that guy. He's played against that guy. That's a huge advantage right there. When you play against a guy and you've had some success, and it's a little bit easier for those coaches to say, okay, listen, this down and distance, you're going to walk over there and take this guy.
First 2 years as a safety, it was Byron, go get that tight end.
Yeah.
He faced a lot of good ones, and it used to be Witten in practice.
Exactly.
And you know what? They didn't get diminishing returns moving him inside.
No.
I thought Anthony Brown played.
Yeah, Anthony Brown was really
And you know
good.
what? If that defensive front keeps making quarterbacks uncomfortable,
Yeah.
it makes it a lot easier. And I know they only sacked him twice. Should have been 3 times with Gregory. But they were making him uncomfortable in the pocket, and all his little hocus-pocus stuff handling the football.
Yeah.
They shut that down.
Tyrone Crawford comes up with a takeaway, strip sack. He continues. I don't think he gets enough credit for what he does for this defense, just being that chess piece.
The Butcher.
Moving, is that his nickname?
Yeah,
Butcher.
For Marinelli? Yeah, just whatever this defensive line needs.
Because the Butcher comes to work every day.
If you go back and you talk about what the defensive line does, and then, if you remember, I was just looking through my notes again, they throw a ball to Ernst on 3rd and 9, I believe it was, with Byron Jones in coverage, and the ball's too high, but DeMarcus Lawrence got such a push on Lane Johnson, and Lane Johnson just can't handle power, and Lawrence caught him with his foot. He was on him so quick that he caught him with his foot in the air, so he was really a one-legged football player. And Lawrence just shoves him with his right hand. And now now Johnson's out of balance, and then, you got Lawrence on top, and now the ball's going too high. Wentz has to climb the front of the pocket there. The defender's right there in his face. So, yeah, I mean, you continue to get pressure and you continue to get coverage, you're going to find ways to get off the field, and that's what they've been able to do.
And especially stopping the run.
Yeah.
They had 34 yards rushing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And their leading ball carrier was Adams with 36.
And he had one run of 24.
Go do the math on that.
Yeah.
I really thought they were going to shut him out. I really did. The momentum they had until Dak threw the pick, they got returned, I think, inside the 5. They couldn't do anything. They couldn't get any momentum offensively, Philly. It kind of turned late, but again, this defense continues to play overall really strong.
All right, Mike in New York, you're on Talking Cowboys. Hello, Mike.
What's up, guys? This is my first time calling, but I've been listening to you guys for a very long time. I know you guys, talk about this all the week. Why do you think we struggle so much in the red zone? I mean, we move the ball on anybody, but it's like, Brian, you've been talking this for a while, and it's just like, I don't understand, why we struggle so much. I don't know if it's just one thing. I know we used to pound the rock, but it's just I don't understand.
Well, it's not so much the red zone, it's goal to goal. They were 0 for 2 again.
Let me ask you this. Is it the first play? Is it the first play that kind of sets up the problems? Well, I mean, that you're not having a positive first play? I'm not talking about a sack, but maybe a no gain, maybe
or a minus
4.
Which was yesterday on the first time.
Is it something that gets them so off balance?
Then you're always trying to catch up.
Yeah, and then you're trying to kind of create plays to make it work.
Yeah.
I have no problem with them getting outside the red zone and just throwing 27-yard touchdown passes to Amari Cooper all day if that's what they want to. But is it the first play? Are we kind of seeing things that, okay, if it knocks them for a no gain and now it's second and goal, or it's they tried the read option.
Which
they try.
it's been effective.
Everybody's like going, oh, they need to more read option down there. They're hand it to Zeke, read option. What do they do? They get -4, like Bill says.
Actually, -5.
On the first one, okay, and then the second time, which was third quarter, it was the incompletion to Beasley.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then on the second play, Jarwin came across Zeke, and they maybe even bumped a little bit. That was kind of screwed up.
Right.
Start blocking wise. And I guess maybe the speed option was right after that. I don't remember. It was Dak +0. I don't remember what.
See, I wonder if it's just that first play, and now Linehan's kind of like, damn it. And he's got to, figure something out, and it's not, and then, then you don't get guys to execute. That to me is a big thing. I think down there, execution is huge.
And they've missed open receivers
in
the end zone because you watch it. Teams are loading up against Zeke in those goal-to-goal situations, and it's almost like, well, we've got to pass. You can say, don't be pass happy, hand it to your best player, but maybe in some situations it's kind of like a brick wall thing where, all right, we've got a matchup on the outside.
I need to go back and look at that. I need to go back and look at all the starting plays and chart that and see what the issues are.
Now,
you have negative plays and
the second time it was first and goal at the 5, and they threw the little out pass to Beasley.
That's what Bill was talking about.
It was a smoke.
Yeah,
and it was a 1-yard gain.
Yeah,
and then Zeke up the middle for 2.
Yeah.
And then he went to Dak kept the ball. They ran a quarterback.
They tried a quarterback draw.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Quarterback draw.
Yeah.
That's what
quarterback
it was.
draw.
Yep.
Right.
I remember it now.
Now in overtime, you get in the red zone. Was that a read option with Dak before a couple plays before the touchdown? In overtime, got a 6-yard gain from the 18.
No. Yes. Yes. It was. Yeah. It was.
It's a weapon in the red zone. They've had some success with that.
It just doesn't seem like they have a good first play. Whether execution, whether it's mental mistake, sack. It just seems like they have issues down there with those throws.
And if you look at what happened in overtime, they overcame a holding call.
Oh yeah.
They went from 2nd and 9 to 2nd and 19 to 50.
Yeah.
Hit Cooper, first down.
Converted third and 9, then converted the fourth and 1.
Nate and I were like, just get half. Nate goes, just get half here. Just get half. That's knowing that the Eagles can't play pass defense. That's feeling like, you know what, okay, just get half and we'll get the other half here on this play. So, yeah, great win, though. Gosh.
Yes, it was.
5 in a row.
They are on
They're on their way to 12 in a row.
That's right. I called it. When they were 3 and 5, we're gonna chart this all the way to Atlanta in the Super Bowl. All right. We continue with more Talking Cowboys tomorrow at 10:30.
Yes,
10:30
Central
tomorrow.
Time. Talking Cowboys on Tuesday. See you then.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.